Hello, everybody. Welcome back to PW IELTS and TOEFL Prep. My name is Vandana, and I welcome you all in this new series, which is Crack IELTS with real exam questions in this new year 2026. I hope your dream of moving to a new country gets fulfilled, gets accomplished in this year. So let's get started with the very first live of this year, and we are going to dive deep into the listening module today. So let's get started and see what we are going to cover. And here we go. So we are going to dive deep and understand the overview of the listening module. We'll understand some tips and strategies, and of course live practice के बिना live कैसे हो सकता है. So we are going to do live practice of tables and note completion question types. So here we go with the overview. Let's begin with the overview first and let's understand कितनी देर का ये टेस्ट होने वाला है, कितने क्वेश्चंस होंगे and stuff like that. So the duration for which the audio is going to be played is 30 long minutes. After this audio gets over, it depends whether you have booked a paper-based test or computer-based test. If you have booked paper-based test, then you are given 10 minutes extra. However, if you have booked computer-based test, then you are given 2 minutes extra at the end of the audio. Now, why this is so? This is so because at the end of 30 long minute audio, if you are somebody who is taking a paper-based test, it is required for you to transfer your answers from the question booklet to the fair answer sheet. Because जब audio play होती है, आप जल्दी जल्दी आंसर स्क्रिबल करते हो क्वेश्चन पेपर के ऊपर, क्वेश्चन बुकलेट के ऊपर. Now in the last 10 minutes, it is expected from you to transfer those answers to the fair answer sheet with neat handwriting and correct spellings. However, in the case of computer-based test, इस सब की कोई ज़रूरत ही नहीं होती because you straight away type your answers on the screen. So that is why a 10-minute and 2-minute extra only, right? Coming to the number of parts, this listening module is divided in 4 parts and the level of difficulty increases as you proceed. अब इसका क्या मतलब है? इसका सीधा सा मतलब ये है कि part 1 simplest होगा, part 2 moderate, part 3 pretty challenging, part 4 again challenging. So जैसे जैसे आगे बढ़ोगे difficulty level बढ़ता है. लाइफ के जैसे 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 आगे बढ़ो डिफिकल्टी लेवल बढ़ता है लाइफ का सेम वैसे. Okay, number of questions. So a total number of 40 questions you are going to answer, which basically 10 questions in each part. 10 questions in each part. देखो मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को हमेशा एक चीज बोलती हूँ, वैसे तो लिसनिंग मॉड्यूल एक ऐसा मॉड्यूल है जिसमें मुझे लगता है 9 बैंड्स लेके आना सबसे इजी अगर है ना तो वो लिसनिंग मॉड्यूल में है. ठीक है, लेकिन स्टिल अगर आप चैलेंज फील करते हो लिसनिंग मॉड्यूल में, अगर आपको लगता है कि मेरे से नहीं हो रहा लिसनिंग मॉड्यूल, तो मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को हमेशा एक चीज़ बोलती हूँ कि हमें पता है स्टार्टिंग का के जो 2 पार्ट्स हैं, पार्ट 1 एंड 2, वो ईजी होंगे. एटलीस्ट वहाँ पे 20/20 स्कोर करना स्टार्ट कर दो. वो इतना अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस कर लो स्टार्टिंग के 2 पार्ट्स कि वहाँ पे एक भी एरर ना हो. 5 बैंड्स तो वहाँ से पक्के हो जाएंगे. रिमेनिंग 2 पार्ट्स में आप इतना तो कर ही लोगे कि रिक्वायर्ड बैंड स्कोर आ जाएगा. सो स्टार्टिंग के 2 पार्ट्स जो होते हैं ना, नो स्कोप ऑफ एरर ओवर देयर. ओके, moving on, let's understand what to expect in each of the parts. Now part 1 is going to be a conversation between 2 people. It can be formal also, it can be informal between 2 friends also. Then part 2 is a monologue. Monologue क्या होता है? जो अभी मैं कर रही हूँ. Monologue means when only one person speaks, nobody else interrupts. So when one person speaks, a lecture kind of thing, that is a monologue. And part 3 is again going to be a conversation, and this conversation is on an academic topic. अब इसका क्या मतलब है? That means in part 3 you will hear maybe 2 students or a student and their coach discussing a project, presentation, assignment, that kind of stuff. And part 4 is again a monologue, and this time this is going to be on an academic topic. Now all the answers are going to be in sequence, और मेरे हिसाब से ये बहुत बड़ा सेविंग ग्रेस है लिसनिंग मॉड्यूल का. सीक्वेंस का मतलब, फॉर आई एम श्योर अगर आप लिसनिंग मॉड्यूल या आप आइल्स एस्पिरेंट हो तो आपको पता होगा कि मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ, बट अगर आपको नहीं पता है तो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज कि सारे आंसर्स लिसनिंग में सीक्वेंस में आते हैं, राइट? आंसर नंबर 1 के बाद स्पीकर आंसर नंबर 5 पे कभी जंप नहीं करेगा. द स्पीकर विल मूव टू 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so forth. And this is your biggest saving grace, I believe. Moving on, let's understand some tips and strategies. देखो, इनके बिना ना बात नहीं बनने वाली है, तो इनको बहुत अच्छे से समझ लो, बहुत अच्छे से. नंबर 1, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द वर्ड लिमिट. जो आज हम क्वेश्चन टाइप करने वाले हैं ना, टेबल एंड नोट्स कंप्लीशन, वो होते हैं फिलअप्स. अब फिलअप्स में हमेशा आपको वर्ड लिमिट दी जाती है. अगर आपने वर्ड लिमिट से ज्यादा लिख दिया तो योर आंसर विल बी मार्क्ड रॉन्ग. नेक्स्ट, द वर्ड्स शुड फिट इन ग्रामेटिकली इन फिलअप्स. ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. जो भी आप वर्ड लिख रहे हो ब्लैंक में, दैट शुड फिट ग्रामेटिकली. उसका ग्रामेटिकल सेंस बनना चाहिए, अदरवाइज दैट्स नॉट योर आंसर. And then be careful of singular and plural cases, guys. I always say ये सबसे बड़ा heart breaking error होता है कि आपको correct word मिल गया, आपने correct word समझ के लिख भी दिया, but सिर्फ एक S की वजह से marks नहीं मिलते हैं. What I'm trying to say is, if in the audio the speaker says dogs, but you have written dog, then the answer will be marked wrong and vice versa. Vice versa means अगर speaker ने dog बोला और आपने dogs लिख दिया, then also it will be marked wrong. So be super careful of these intricacies. Moving on, you need to know that there will be distractors. Distractors क्या होता है? Distractors is extra information. So आपको अगर क्वेश्चन देख के समझ में आ गया है कि ठीक है, मेरे आंसर में एक नंबर आने वाला है यहाँ पे. They will not talk about only a single number in the audio. वो इतना इजी गेम नहीं बनाएंगे आपके लिए. They will throw 2-3 numbers at you and you need to understand कि उसमें से extra information क्या है. You need to eliminate that. Moving on, these are some most important keywords. देखो क्या होता है. Before the audio starts, they give you 30 seconds, approximately 30 seconds to read 5 questions. Now, when you are reading those questions, it's important that you highlight the keywords. आप underline करो, आप highlight कर लो keywords को. And अब keywords जो आप highlight करते हो, the same language is not going to be spoken in the audio. So इसका मतलब है कुछ important keywords आपको ऐसे pick करने चाहिए जो change ही ना हो सके. For example, proper nouns. Proper nouns means names. For example, month name September, weekday Wednesday. So these names cannot be paraphrased. Otherwise तो सारी information, सारी language paraphrased होती है, synonyms use होते हैं. But कुछ ऐसे words होंगे जो change नहीं हो सकते. They will help you. And proper nouns is one of that. अगर आपको numbers भी दिखते हैं, then they also are very good keywords because numbers भी change नहीं किए जा सकते. And if you lose your track in the audio, speaker कहीं पे पहुंच गया है and now you need to locate your place back in the audio, subheadings will help you in that case. Moving on, write your answers in all caps. सिंपल सा लॉजिक है इसके पीछे. अगर प्रॉपर नाउन है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल सेप्टेम्बर, यू आर राइटिंग लाइक दिस, तब तो ठीक है, इट विल बी मार्क्ड राइट. बट इफ यू हैव रिटन इट विद स्मॉल एस, so we don't write proper nouns with small initials, so this might be marked wrong. Now to avoid these kind of errors, it's recommended that you write all 40 answers, every single letter in caps, something like this. So that ways there will not be any risk of making such errors. Moving on, use a headset while practicing. ये तो मैं भी करती हूँ. मैंने भी जब कोई नया लिसनिंग टेस्ट लेना होता है ना, मैं बिना हेडसेट के करूँ तो मेरी परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी नहीं आती है. सो स्टार्ट यूजिंग हेडसेट और ईयरफोन्स, अदरवाइज थोड़ा सा फर्क आता है परफॉर्मेंस में. मूविंग ऑन, Don't expect the same language that is written in the questions. ये मैंने अभी बोला, the language is going to be paraphrased. Paraphrased क्या होता है? Paraphrased का मतलब होता है they will say the same thing but in different words. For example, let's imagine question में लिखा हुआ है एक word appropriate. अब जरूरी नहीं है ऑडियो में वो appropriate ही बोलें, वो उसका synonym which is suitable, they can use that. So don't expect the same language that's written in the questions. Moving on, it's possible to an extent to predict some answers. आपको question देख के audio play होने से पहले ही इतना तो समझ में आ जाता है कि अच्छा I am going to get a number for this answer. I'm going to get a color name for this answer. So to an extent आप audio से पहले ही decide कर सकते हो कुछ questions के लिए कि किस तरह का answer आने वाला है. And then listen to complete talk about a question. This is very important, very, very important. Because आपने अगर पूरा information नहीं सुना तो end में कई बारी जाके वो word refuse कर देते हैं. So you need to keep your ears open for their refusal. So listen to the entire talk about a question. Spellings matter. So if you get the right word, but आपने उसके spellings ठीक नहीं लिखे, तो answer will be marked wrong. Moving on, don't ignore the adjectives given in the question. This is super duper important, especially MCQs में ये आपके बहुत काम आने वाले हैं adjectives, और MCQs आपको पता है part 3 में कितना दुखी करते हैं. Now adjectives are words like surprised, irritated, annoyed, unexpected. These are your adjectives. Moving on, you will hear vocabulary from incorrect options in MCQs. ये तो MCQs की game है, multiple choice questions की. Multiple choice questions में incorrect options में से भी vocabulary play करी जाती है so that you get confused. आपको confuse करने के लिए. I find it hard to hear negative words like can't, wasn't. How can we practice this? Because they speak so quickly, we usually don't pay attention to negative. Difficulty section in MCQ. Just practice from Cambridge material only because such things are very clearly pronounced in Cambridge. If you are doing practice from somewhere else, which is not any website or anything which is not following Cambridge, then this kind of difficulty may arise. Moving on, there's no negative marking. This is another saving grace. क्योंकि negative marking है नहीं, तो do not leave any blank in that case. So whatever you think can be the answer, grammatically, logically, write something. And answers are going to be in sequence. अच्छा ठीक है, ये repeat हो गया. And listening is a game of focus, guys. आप जितना मर्जी आपकी language skills strong हो, अगर आपने focus नहीं रखा ना listening में, then it's going to be a lost cause. So for those 30 minutes entirely, you need to have high level of concentration. चलो, now let's get started with the first practice exercise. पहले जल्दी से questions पढ़ लेते हैं कि और इसकी वो देख लेते हैं हम word limit and all. So look, notes completion question, इसको हम बोलते हैं notes completion, right? And because these are blanks, they have given word limit here, which is one word and or a number. ठीक है? Now they are going to talk about transport survey. अच्छा, word limit के बारे में पहले एक बारी बात कर लेते हैं. According to this word limit, guys, tell me. According to this word limit, if I write, let's say Jones or Jonas 1991, will that be correct or incorrect? I need to know in the chat box, in the comment section right now. Will this be correct or incorrect, Jonas 1991? This will be correct because we are allowed a number and a word. So here we have a number and we have a word. Only 1991 will also be correct and only Jonas will also be correct. But if you write something like Jack and Jones, that would be wrong because these would be considered as 3 words. Okay, now let's move forward. Hi Ajay, I was not expecting you today. Great to see you. Okay, I mean great to see your yes here in the comment section. All right, now let's read the questions. So here we have the name. It says Sadie Jones. Year of birth 1991. Postcode, then we will see. This is something you need to pick and you can predict that you are going to get a number here. Be very alert and get the right number. And then they are going to talk about traveling by bus, date of bus journey, then another number. This much prediction is possible. Reason for trip, shopping and visit to some place. Traveled by bus because cost of dash is too high. Cost of what is too high? Got on the bus at dash street. You need to see what street, and here you will get some English name, and whenever they pronounce English names, they will give you the spellings letter by letter. So grab the correct spellings, otherwise the answer will be marked wrong. Moving on, complaints about bus service. Bus today was dash. Frequency of buses in the dash. Then they'll be talking about traveling by car, goes to the dash by car. And then traveling by bicycle, dislikes traveling by bike in the city center because of dash. And finally, doesn't own a bike because of a lack of dash. Okay, so I'm planning to take the exam on January 25th. Absolutely, Ajay. You will nail it. Chalo, let's get started, guys. And I'm going to play the audio now. Stay super focused. It's just a matter of 5-6 minutes. Okay, here you go. Start posting your answers in the comment section.
IELTS 18, published by Cambridge University Press and Assessment. IELTS 18, published by Cambridge University Press and Assessment, 2023. This recording is copyright. Test 1. Press and Assessment. This is the IELTS Listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. You will hear an interview with a woman who is doing a survey on transport. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Excuse me, would you mind if I asked you some questions? We're doing a survey on transport.
Yes, that's okay.
First of all, can I take your name?
Yes, it's Sadie Jones.
Thanks very much. And could I have your date of birth? Just the year will do, actually. Is that all right?
Yes, that's fine. It's 1991.
So, next, your postcode, please.
It's DW30 7YZ.
Great, thanks. Is that in Wells?
No, it's actually in Harborne. Wells isn't far from there, though.
I really like that area. My grandmother lived there when I was a kid.
Yes, it is nice.
Right, so now I want to ask you some questions about how you travelled here today. Did you use public transport?
Yes, I came by bus.
OK, and that was today. It's the 24th of April, isn't it?
Isn't it the 25th? Yes, it is. No, actually, you're right.
And what was the reason for your trip today? I can see you've got some shopping with you.
Yes, I did some shopping, but the main reason I came here was to go to the dentist.
That's not much fun. Hope it was nothing serious.
No, it was just a checkup. It's fine.
Good. Do you normally travel by bus into the city centre?
Yes, I stopped driving in ages ago because parking was so difficult to find. And it costs so much.
I see.
The bus is much more convenient too. It only takes about 30 minutes.
That's good. So where did you start your journey?
At the bus stop on Claxby Street.
Is that CLAXBY?
That's right. And it costs so much.
I see.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
So where did you start your journey?
At the bus stop on Claxby Street.
Is that Claxby?
That's right.
I see.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
So where did you start your journey?
Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Is that Claxby? And how satisfied with the service are you? Do you have any complaints?
Well, as I said, it's very convenient and quick when it's on time. But this morning it was late. Only about 10 minutes, but still.
Yes, I understand that's annoying. And what about the timetable? Do you have any comments about that?
I suppose I mainly use the bus during the day, but any time I've been in town in the evening, for dinner or at the cinema, I've noticed you have to wait a long time for a bus. There aren't that many.
OK, thanks. So now I'd like to ask you about your car use.
Well, I have got a car, but I don't use it that often. Mainly just to go to the supermarket. But that's about it, really. My husband uses it at the weekends to go to the golf club.
And what about a bicycle?
I don't actually have one at the moment.
What about the city bikes you can rent? Do you ever use those?
No, I'm not keen on cycling there because of all the pollution. But I would like to get a bike. It would be good to use it to get to work.
So why haven't you got one now?
Well, I live in a flat on the second floor, and it doesn't have any storage. So we'd have to leave it in the hall outside the flat.
I see. OK, well, I think that's all we need from you today, Sadie.
That is the end of part 1. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to part 1.
What about the rest of you? Let me see your answers, guys. Come on. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to show you answers to all these 10 questions. By the way, this is part 1 level of IELTS listening, which is super simple part, right? So I'm going to show you the answers on the slide and check and tell me your score out of 10. These are the answers. Tell me how much were you able to score out of 10? Okay, let me check. I think Ajay and Rohit, you got 10 on 10. Perfect. All right, the rest of you also, if you can start posting your answers, it would be great. And if you have not noted answers for this exercise, then no problem. We have one more practice exercise to go. Let's proceed and let's do one more practice exercise. And here we go. So here your word limit, the very first thing you need to focus upon is the word limit. So it's one word only, and they are going to be talking about working at Milo's or Milo's restaurant. The very first thing, you have a few benefits here. So question number 1, dash provided for all staff. Number 2, dash during weekdays at all Milo's restaurants. Number 3, dash provided after midnight. And then there's this subheading, which is person specification. It says must be prepared to work well in a team and must care about maintaining a high standard of dash, must have a qualification in dash. Once we are done with the first 5 questions, there will be a pause of 30 seconds in which I will change the slide and we will see this table completion. Let's read the questions first together. Now this time you have one word and a number limit, okay? Never ignore this. So you have 4 columns: location, job title, responsibilities, and pay and conditions. So the very first question, number 6, dash street. Look for the name and correct spellings. Breakfast supervisor. Responsibilities include checking portions, etc. and making sure dash is clean. And then starting salary, dash pounds per hour. Start work at 5:30 a.m. Moving on, then they're going to talk about city road, junior chef, supporting senior chefs, maintaining stock and organizing something. Annual salary £23,000, no work on a dash once a month, right? So let's play the audio for this one, guys. While I'm setting up the audio, give it a good read. And here we go.
Test 2. This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. You will hear a woman from a job agency giving information to a man about work in a chain of restaurants. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
So I understand you're interested in restaurant work.
Yes, I've got a bit of experience and I can provide references.
That's good. I can check all that later. Now, Milo's restaurants have some vacancies at the moment. They're a really good company to work for. Lots of benefits.
All right.
Yes. They've got a very good reputation for looking after staff. For example, all employees get training, even temporary staff.
Oh, really? That's quite unusual, isn't it?
Certainly is.
And do staff get free uniforms too?
You just need to wear a white t-shirt and black trousers, it says here. So I guess not. But another benefit of working for a big company like this is that you can get a discount at any of their restaurants.
Even at weekends?
No, but you'll be working then anyway.
Oh, yes, I suppose so. Most of their restaurants are in the city centre, aren't they? So easy to get to by bus?
Yes, that's right. But if you have to do a late shift and finish work after midnight, the company will pay for you to get a taxi home.
I probably won't need one. I think I'd use my bike.
OK. Now, they do have some quite specific requirements for the kind of person they're looking for. Milo's is a young, dynamic company, and they're really keen on creating a strong team. It's really important that you can fit in and get on well with everyone.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. It sounds good, actually. The last place I worked for was quite demanding too, We had to make sure we gave a really high level of service.
That's good to hear, because that will be equally important at Milo's. I know they want people who have an eye for detail.
That's fine. I'm very used to working in that kind of environment.
Perfect. So the only other thing that's required is good communication skills, so you'll need to have a certificate in English.
Sure.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
OK, let's have a look at the current job vacancies at Milo's. The first one is in Wivenhoe Street.
Sorry, where?
Wivenhoe. Wivenhoe. It's quite central, just off Cork Street.
Oh, right.
They're looking for a breakfast supervisor.
That would be okay.
So you're probably familiar with the kind of responsibilities involved. Obviously checking that all the portions are correct, etc. And then things like checking all the procedures for cleaning the equipment are being followed.
Okay. And what about the salary? In my last job, I was getting £9.50 per hour. I was hoping to get a bit more than that.
Well, to begin with, you'd be getting £9.75, but that goes up to £11.25 after 3 months.
That's not too bad. And I suppose it's a very early start.
That's the only unattractive thing about this job. But then you have the afternoons and evenings free. So the restaurant starts serving breakfast from 7 a.m, and you'd have to be there at 5:30 to set everything up. But you'd be finished at 12:30.
Well, as you say, there are advantages to that.
Now, you might also be interested in the job at the City Road branch. That's for a junior chef, so again, a position of responsibility.
I might prefer that, actually.
Right. Well, obviously, this role would involve supporting the sous chef and other senior staff. And you'd be responsible for making sure there's enough stock each week and sorting out all the deliveries.
I've never done that before, but I imagine it's fairly straightforward once you get the hang of it.
Yes, and you'd be working alongside more experienced staff to begin with, so I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem. The salary's slightly higher here. It's an annual salary of £23,000.
Right.
I know that if they like you, it's likely you'll be promoted quite quickly, so that's worth thinking about.
Yes, it does sound interesting. What are the hours like?
The usual, I think. There's a lot of evening and weekend work, but they're closed on Mondays. But you do get one Sunday off every 4 weeks. So would you like me to send off your CV?
That is the end of part 1. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to part 1.
All right, everybody. We are done with 10 more questions. Let me see your answers. Let's see how much you have scored this time. So today's level was super simple, but slowly we are going to raise this level in the coming sessions. And just for your information, by the way, I'm still waiting for your answers in the comment section. Otherwise, I'm not going to show you here on the slide unless and until you post them, okay? But yeah, a little bit of extra information right now. I was talking about the level. Today, I covered something which was super simple, part 1 level. But slowly and steadily, I'm going to raise the bar. And in one of the sessions, I'm going to cover, especially I have kept one session for listening map labeling, because I know that question type really troubles a lot of students. So stay tuned for the coming sessions. But only Ajay has posted the answers. What about the rest of you? Rohit, what about you this time? Discount, taxi, and training. Let's go back. Training, discount, taxi. It's not services, it's service, Ajay. And then you are saying English. And then Vivenho Street, equipment. And then you have, no, number 9 is incorrect. Maintaining stock and organizing dash. It was 9.75. Okay, I got it. No, that's fine, Najay. That's fine. Question, you have posted the answer number 8 as 9.75. Yes, that's absolutely correct. My bad. I'm so sorry. And then you're saying deliveries and Sunday. Fine. Here you go with the answers. Check your score, guys. Check and let me know. I think it's once again 10 on 10. Let me know in the chat box. एक तो ये चैट बॉक्स और कमेंट सेक्शन ने बड़ा कंफ्यूज करके रखा हुआ है मुझे व्हाटएवर इट इज जस्ट पोस्ट योर स्कोर राइट यू सी इट्स सर्विस हियर ठीक है सो दिस वन विल बी मार्क्ड रॉन्ग दिस टाइम अजय एंड देन यू हैव इंग्लिश विविन्हो check the spellings of विविन्हो rest is fine. So Rohit, I guess 10 on 10, wonderful, and Ajay 9 on 10. So Ajay 9 on 10. It's not services. Acha, you have written service. Once again, my bad, Ajay. Yes, 10 on 10. 10 on 10. Perfect. All right. So with that, we have come to the end of this session. And like I said, we'll be covering all important topics in the coming sessions. So stay tuned. I hope I was able to help you in some little way. I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.